Good
Karen.
morning. How are you?
I'm good. And yourself?
I'm fine, Barbara. Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
We're here today,
To read a book and do an art project all about that book.
and just for you. So we're ready to go.
I'm Barbara.
I'm Karen.
Welcome.
Okay. Today's book is Snippets, a story about paper shapes, written and illustrated by Diane Alber. This is a story about a strange little place where two shapes of paper filled up the whole space. Triangles and squares would all wait in line to make a home in the same patterned design. Each house, like the other, also mundane, not a chimney, not a shingle, or a long window pane. Then one afternoon, after new shapes were made, a snippet showed too, in an aqua blue shade. But because Snippet had an oddly shaped top, he looked different. A bit different from a normal rooftop. He was very shy, but he wanted to play. So he asked the squares, "What are you making today?" "We make sturdy houses," announced the red square. "Asymmetrical shapes belong right over there. Because we are different. It's best we're divided. We can't just risk having our houses lopsided." Snippet wasn't expecting to be asked to leave and was shocked that Square was being naive. He could build a strong house and be part of a pair, even though he was not like a regular square. Not wanting to argue, he walked over to the pile and noticed each shape had a distinctive style. They were all snippets. They were just like him. Some sides were long and some shapes were slim. He was so excited by such a surprise. There were so many shapes of irregular size. "Come on," they all said, "jump right in the pile." So Snippet dove in with a bright, gleaming smile. And even though Snippet really loved the new space, he just couldn't forget that strange, tidy place. Deep down in his heart, being divided felt wrong. He just wanted to see all the shapes get along. And as he stood thinking, an idea came to mind. What if he went back and tried to be kind? To that misguided square with the perfect physique, he could show him the beauty of being unique. When Snippet arrived, Square started to grumble. "Why are you back? You'll make our houses crumble." This was Snippet's big chance to make Square truly see all the wonderful things he could possibly be. Snippet pointed to the roof's acute angle and said, "I could make a tall chimney on that green triangle." Snippet saw Squares start to flip up with doubt, and he knew it'd be best to act it all out. So he climbed on the triangle and said, "How's this look?" Square watched carefully, but the house never shook. "It's not falling down, and it doesn't look bad. In fact, it looks great. So what else can we add?" "Actually," said Snippet, "we could add some more. There's a rectangle, Snippet, for a fancy front door. Is it okay if I ask the pile to play too?" Square happily agreed, only expecting a few. But the whole pile showed up to come over and play, and to Square's huge surprise, they had a fun day. The houses they had made never looked so grand. It was just as wonderful as Snippet had planned. Squares, triangles, and snippets all getting along. They made a great place where they all could belong. Long rectangles made houses that reached up so high, a pentagon-shaped rocket could fly in the sky. A right triangle made a red sail on a ship. It was amazing to see such close partnership. They all learned so much from each other that day that regardless of shape, they could happily play. And to think it was just one Snippet's kind heart that joined them together to make such great art. The end. Snippets.
Hi. Today's art project is based on the book Snippets. And today we're going to be thinking about snippets using our scissors and colored papers and making a project of dynamic shapes. Now probably at home you have lots of bits of paper that you sort of cut other pieces out of. They're not quite good enough maybe for an entire art project all by themselves, but they are absolutely perfect for today's project. So if you haven't already, take a look around the house and find whatever you can in terms of paper scraps, big and small. You will also need, ideally, a piece of black paper. It can be rectangular or it can be square. If you don't have black, white is just fine too. I'm going to use black, and so I'll set the white aside. And I'm going to make it tall way. A rectangle can be this way, of course, or this way. I like this way for this project. What I need today are my scraps of paper, my black or white paper, scissors, and a glue stick or some form of glue, and maybe some markers, colored pencils, whatever you have at home. Use what you have to make what you want. Okay, so thinking about in Snippets, the book, how the same shapes, squares, rectangles, triangles, those are geometric shapes. Do I need to stay with just those shapes today? No, and neither do you. I find sometimes that just looking at the different shapes that I can cut from a pair of scissors, big and small in all kinds of colors, is easy. Looks like somebody took a bite out of that. You can use a piece of paper and taking your scissors, make a very geometric shape. Geometric shapes have points and usually straight lines connecting those points. Mathematics is very fond of geometric shapes. We can also use organic shapes, those which are kind of curved and rounded. I can see somebody has already cut out some organic shapes. You know, maybe I can use that as part of my project today. That's kind of an interesting shape, I think. I've already pre-cut some to save us some time. As you can see, lots of different shapes here that I've previously cut out. You can do this project one piece at a time, or you can cut a whole bunch of really cool pieces of all different shapes, sizes, and colors, and then arrange them how you like. You can keep them very separate. Maybe you won't want any of the pieces to overlap. Maybe they'll come very close. But each piece that you place, pause a minute and make sure it's exactly where you want it. Because once you've glued it down, it's a lot harder to move. Or you can do like my brother. My brother Gordon and I always started a spring garden every year. I was very careful to put my pieces down in the right place. All the plants were in rows and they were all labeled, but that was me. My brother Gordon, on the other hand, took his seeds and threw them, and then he went off to do something else. You can do that with this project if you'd rather. Just see what happens when you lay the pieces down one on top of another. And then you can take another look and add other pieces. This is about dynamic shapes. It's whatever works for you. And you can turn your paper around too and see if you like it that way up. No, I think I like it that way up. When you're ready to start gluing down, use your glue stick. Now this is a good time to remind you that you need to have an underpaper. It could be a piece of newspaper or a scrap paper, or in this case, I've covered my table with a plastic tablecloth. Don't want to get glue on your good kitchen table. Sometimes I don't even want to make glue on there, so I take an extra piece and use it as a special under the glue paper. That way I can put it down. And if I get a little glue off the edges of the piece I'm gluing down, it doesn't matter. Place your pieces on the paper and smooth with your fingers. You can do this project many ways and many times, whatever you enjoy to do best. Now, you might want to pause for a moment in order to finish your project, but be sure to share it with other people when you've done so. I did a project earlier, which I'll show you now. This project, I used paper that I didn't overlap. I was just like when I planted my garden as a kid. I was very careful about the rows. I wanted to have an edge all the way around. I thought about that before I began. I wanted to have the colors and shapes be very specific and very each separated and distant from one another. I didn't cut this out intentionally. I found it in the drawer and decided to use it. Then I thought to myself, some of these shapes look very plain, so I decided that I might add some lines. So I took my colored markers and drew some shapes and squiggles and lines and patterns. You can make your own shapes. I found that one. Looks like somebody had used a hole puncher. So either way, whether you make your final design a scatter shot of wonderful shapes that just seem to go together so well, or whether you're organized. So whether you're doing my garden or my brother's garden, it all works. Have fun with this project, and we'll see you again soon.